Hey guys, welcome back to the Knowledge Supply Company channel. In today's video, I wanted to give you guys an idea of a few big players that are involved in the crypto space. Now, when I got involved in the crypto space back in 2016, there weren't a lot of big institutional players coming out and saying, hey, we love Bitcoin, we love blockchain technologies, this is what we're doing. So in today's video, I wanted to give you an idea of a few big players involved in the space and actually show you some numbers as far as how much they've invested into crypto on their platform. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And this particular article was published on Forbes, January 12, 2021. And the title of this article is What Publicly Traded Companies Have Bitcoin on Their Balance Sheet and Why? So let's go ahead and go down here. And they mention a few different companies within this article, but I'm going to go over a couple that you might have heard of. So the first company is called MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy and its CEO, Michael J. Saylor, are probably the most notable Bitcoin bulls putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to their treasury. After putting in slightly more than $1 billion in USD into Bitcoin, now just think about that, $1 billion. For some of you that saw my last video when I'm talking about Jamie Dimon when he calls Bitcoin only for thieves or for criminals. You have this company, MicroStrategy, putting in $1 billion into Bitcoin. I mean, think about that. They've seen that amount close to treble in value in a few months. MicroStrategy is a business intelligence company that is listed on the NASDAQ index. Michael J. Saylor is an interesting convert to Bitcoin in 2013. He had tweeted about how Bitcoin reminded him of an online casino and that its days were numbered. Now, however, he has become a strong advocate for Bitcoin, obviously. So I wanted to pull this for you to give you guys a little bit more information on MicroStrategy and Michael J. Saylor. So I went to Wikipedia. So Michael J. Saylor is an American entrepreneur and business executive who co-founded and leads MicroStrategy, a company which provides business intelligence, mobile software, and cloud-based services. Saylor authored the 2012 book, The Mobile Wave, blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and let's scroll down here to Bitcoin investment. So on MicroStrategy's quarterly earnings conference call in July 2020, Saylor announced his intention for MicroStrategy to explore purchasing Bitcoin, gold, and other alternative assets instead of holding cash. The following month, MicroStrategy used $250 million from its cash stockpile to purchase 21,454 Bitcoin. Wow. MicroStrategy later added $175 million of Bitcoin to its holdings in September 2020 and another $50 million in December 2020. On December 11, 2020, MicroStrategy announced that it had sold $650 million in convertible senior notes, taken on debt to increase its Bitcoin holdings to over $1 billion worth. $1 billion worth. Wow. So that's how much they hold now. Over $1 billion. It's probably more because the price has jumped. On December 21st, 2020, MicroStrategy announced their total holdings included 70,470 Bitcoins, purchased for $1.125 billion at an average price of $15,964 per Bitcoin. Saylor, who controls 70% of MicroStrategy's shares, dismissed concerns by observers that the move is turning MicroStrategy into a Bitcoin investment firm. Wow. So there you go. That was on MicroStrategy. So let's go back and look at the article. Square. Square has been a company that has supported Bitcoin in various ways. Cash App, for example, offers the ability to buy Bitcoin, and Square Crypto is an independent team that is contributing to Bitcoin from an open source perspective. It has made investments in Bitcoin for its own internal treasury. It bought about 4,700 Bitcoin with $50 million recently, citing that the fact that the cryptocurrency is an instrument of economic empowerment and provides a way for the world to participate in a global monetary system, which aligns with the company's purpose. Square is also listed on the NASDAQ index. So to give you guys a little bit more background on Square, on that specific purchase, this article is on The Verge, October 8th, 2020. Goes into a little bit more detail about that purchase in Bitcoin. Square buys $50 million in Bitcoin as part of the larger investment in cryptocurrency. CEO Jack Dorsey has been a longtime supporter of Bitcoin. So Jack Dorsey is the founder of Square. And if you don't know, he's also the founder of Twitter. Payments platform Square has purchased $50 million in Bitcoin, part of its larger investment in cryptocurrency, the company announced on Thursday. Square bought a total of 4,709 Bitcoins, which the company says represents about 1% of its total assets of the end of the second quarter. Square said it was making the purchase because it believes Bitcoin has the potential to be a more ubiquitous currency in the future, calling cryptocurrency an instrument of economic empowerment that provides a way for the world to participate in a global monetary system. Square has accepted Bitcoin as a form of payment since 2014. Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter and Square, has long been a proponent of Bitcoin, saying in 2018 that he believes it will eventually become the world's single currency. I disagree with that. Within the next decade, Dorsey also owns an undisclosed amount of Bitcoin personally, said during a phone earnings call in 2018, that Bitcoin for us is not stopping at buying and selling. We do believe that this is a transformational technology for our industry, and we want to learn as quickly as possible. So that's very interesting. So that was on Square. Okay, let's go back to the article and see if I missed anything. There's a couple other different platforms on here. Galaxy Digital Holdings, Hut 8 Mining. Let's see. Galaxy Digital Holdings is a publicly traded company looking to create institutional infrastructure for cryptocurrency, from investment banking to asset management. It currently holds about 16,400 Bitcoin in its treasury, which is about $569 million in USD value as of the date of the publication. Wow. I'm not really going to go into these other companies, Hut 8 Mining and Voyager Digital. Like I said, you can actually just Google this article, and if you want to research those other companies, you're more than welcome to. I wanted to show you guys this really quick. It's a platform called Grayscale Investments, and right now I believe it's only available to accredited investors and institutional investments. But if you scroll down to here, there's actually a Forbes article on them. And essentially what Grayscale is, it allows crypto purchases by accredited investors and institutional investors only. So if we click on the Forbes article on Grayscale, I wanted to read this to you guys really quick. The biggest Bitcoin investment trust hits massive $1 billion year as BlackRock investors flee. Okay. Bitcoin interest from institutional investors is booming with the world's largest Bitcoin investment trust. So Grayscale is the world's largest Bitcoin investment trust. Grayscale posting record inflows for the first quarter of the year, and I believe this was last year. Yes, last year. This article is April 16th, 2020. New York-based Grayscale, which allows accredited investors to buy Bitcoin and other major cryptocurrencies through its funds, saw over $1 billion invested over the last 12 months, with just over $500 million. Wow. Coming in the first 3 months of the year. Let me read that again. That's pretty awesome. New York-based Grayscale, which allows accredited investors to buy Bitcoin and other major cryptocurrencies through its funds, saw over $1 billion invested over the last 12 months, with just over $500 million coming in the first 3 months of the year. Wow. Massive interest in the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Grayscale's biggest and flagship fund comes as BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager. I believe they handle, I want to say, $7 to $8 trillion. The world's largest asset manager revealed panicked investors fled its long-term investment funds for the first time in 5 years last quarter. Let's see what they got here. Grayscale said $380 million was invested in its Bitcoin Trust in the first quarter of 2020, its best quarter on record, up almost $200 million on the last 3 months of 2019. For the first time, inflows into Grayscale products over a 12-month period crossed the $1 billion threshold, showing strong and sustained evidence that investors are increasing their digital asset exposure at current levels, Grayscale wrote in its first quarter of 2020 investment report. Many of our investors view digital assets as a medium to long-term investment opportunity and a core component of their investment portfolios. They are tactically using drawdowns to increase their exposure to the asset class, which they are now doing at the fastest pace in Grayscale history. Quarter over quarter inflows more than doubled to $503 million, demonstrating demand is reaching new peak levels even in a risk-off environment. So I'm not going to read the whole article, but that gives you an idea of what this platform does and how much money that they're doing. So the question is what are you waiting for? Why are all these companies investing so much money into the space, into Bitcoin? And right now, I believe Bitcoin is at about $37,000, $36,000. What are you waiting for? Okay, let's go to this last article on Goldman Sachs. And if you don't know who Goldman Sachs is, you've probably been living under a rock for the last 50 years. They are one of the largest investment banks in the world. So January 15th, 2021 was when this article came out, so last month. And the title of this article is Goldman Sachs Explores Entering Crypto Market, CoinDesk report. So that's the name of the news desk, CoinDesk. So this article is on Bloomberg. So Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated is looking into investing in digital assets, the latest move by a U.S. bank to enter the world of cryptocurrency. The New York-based bank issued a request for information to at least one crypto custody player at the end of 2020, according to the portal, which cited an unidentified person. Goldman's initiative was part of a broad digital strategy, CoinDesk said. Representatives for Goldman Sachs didn't immediately respond to messages seeking comment during weekend hours. The possible entrance by Goldman would be the latest in a broader trend to bring digital currency into U.S. banking. Earlier this month, Anchorage Digital Bank became the first cryptocurrency firm to win a charter from the Office of the Comptroller. Wow. Okay. So now these guys at Goldman Sachs are looking, they had a request for information, which is called an RFI, to possibly custody crypto. Okay. And one of my last videos where I kind of talk about Jamie Dimon, I had mentioned that banks last year, 2020, were actually given the green light by the Office of the Comptroller to custody digital assets and cryptocurrencies. So it looks like Goldman Sachs is waiting on the sidelines and they're going to get in. So wow, that's huge. Anyways, that's it for this video. I kind of wanted to give you guys an idea, like I said before, to show you some of the largest companies in the U.S. and how they're moving into the space. So hopefully that sheds a little light on maybe you possibly researching and wanting to get into the markets. But like I said, that's up to you. I hope you enjoyed the video. That was some brain food for you, and I will see you in the next one.